तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome to today morning's Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat class, because today being the appearance day of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, we'll be discussing about him. So before I begin, I seek the blessings of all my seniors and all other assembled Vaishnavas also. So for discussion, we'll take several verses from Chaitanya Charitamrit, in which Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami glorifies Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. So for now we'll discuss 34th verse. You can repeat after me. This is Adi Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Adi Lila, 8th chapter. The author receives the orders of Krishna and Guru. Text 34. Please repeat. Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kahe Veda Vyasa Chaitanya Lilara Vyasa Vrindavana Dasa Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kahe Veda Vyasa Chaitanya Lilara Vyasa Vrindavana Dasa Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kahe Veda Vyasa Chaitanya Lilara Vyasa Vrindavana Dasa. Do you want to repeat? Lila Bhagavate Kahe Veda Vyasa Chaitanya Lilara Vyasa Vrindavana Dasa. Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kahe Veda Vyas Chaitanya Lilara Vyas Vrindavana Das. Mataji's. Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kahe Veda Vyasa Chaitanya Lilara Vyasa Vrindavana Dasa. Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kahe Veda Vyasa Chaitanya Lilara Vyasa Vrindavana Dasa. What? Acha. Word to word meaning and translation by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Krishna Lila, the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Bhagavate, in the book Srimad Bhagavatam. Kahe, tells. Veda Vyasa, Vyasdev, the editor of the Vedic literatures. Chaitanya Lilara of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Vyasa, compiler. Vrindavana Dasa is Vrindavan Das. Translation: as Vedvyas has compiled all the pastimes of Lord Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam, Thakur Vrindavan Das has depicted the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. I also seek the blessings of His Holiness Radharaman Swami Maharaj. So once His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj was asked, as far as I know, that who is your favorite Lord? Maharaj has spoken so many Bhagavad Kathas, hundreds and thousands all over India and outside. So very surprisingly Maharaj said, his favorite Lord is Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, but for people in general, he might speak Srimad Bhagavatam, but his favorite Lord is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes are very nicely described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that every Gaudiya Vaishnava should read Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat 108 times. How many have read one time at least? Some have read. So 108 times is the recommendation to read. When I heard it, I was shocked. I also have not read one. We have reached up to Antya Leela, 4th chapter, Antya Khand. But it is very, very important. Srila Prabhupada, I'm not very sure, but why did he choose to elaborate or give commentary on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita? Because Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has given elaborate commentary on Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur called Sri Gaudiya Bhashya, a very famous commentary. It is published also in 9 volumes also. So he is very empowered Acharya, whose appearance day we are celebrating today. So generally every morning we discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Grantha Bhagavat, book Bhagavat. But as Srila Prabhupada tells, Acharyas tell, that there are 2 Bhagavats. The other being the Vyakti Bhagavat, or the person Bhagavat. So Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is that Vyakti Bhagavat, person Bhagavat, who was empowered by Sri Nityam Prabhu and several other devotees, as we will discuss in the class today. He is none other than Srila Vedvyas. As in this particular verse, very nicely, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami tells us, Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kahe Vedavyas. Vedavyas in Srimad Bhagavatam has given the pastimes of Lord Krishna, Krishna Lila. Chaitanya Lilara Vyas. So Vyas means also one who expands. So many pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have been very nicely expanded, written down by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. So he is none other than Vedvyas only. So a little bit about the family background. Srivas Thakur and his 4 brothers, there were total 5 brothers. The eldest was Nalina Pandit, and then other Srivas, Sri Ram, Sri Nidhi, Sripati. But the eldest was Nalin Pandit. He left his body quite early, but he had small daughter, Narayani. So Narayani is fatherless now. Naturally, Srivas Thakur took care of her as his own daughter. So she was being raised in the house of Srivas Thakur in Navadvip Dham. So then there is one incident that is described in Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya Leela, 2nd chapter, 240 shloka onwards. Somehow Srivas Thakur, who was practicing bhakti very nicely with all other devotees, and in his house so many programs were happening. Every morning there would be several Vaishnavas who would assemble, because there was one creeper that was growing on the house of Srivas Thakur, and on that exactly as many number of flowers would grow which were required for devotees for their daily deity worship in their houses. So they would all come there, and daytime also lot of katha discussion would go on. But somehow the Navadvip Vasis, residents, some of them were very envious of devotees. And Srivas Thakur being a kind of leader there, they were accusing him that this Srivas, he will ruin all of us. That king, several kind of accusations, but one of them said that Muslim king is ruling over Bengal, and he is very upset, angry that Hindus are practicing their devotional service so loudly, they are chanting the holy name. This is not proper. So the Muslim king has sent 2 boats full of soldiers, and they have already come to the other side of the Ganges. Anytime they will come to this side, they will attack and they will destroy us all. And that time the Shrivas will run away. He will nicely escape. But we will be tortured, we will be killed. So let us remove Shrivas from our place. So Shrivas had faith that Krishna will protect. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. About himself, no problem, but what about devotees? Devotees may be in danger. So I need to do something. So he was quite fearful. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Paramatma sitting in everyone's heart, knowing that all. He assured Srivas Thakur that don't be fearful. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed him four-armed form, that is Supreme Personality of Godhead's form. So that gave solace. Apart from that, he offered, Srivas Thakur that time offered prayers to Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessed all the family members of Srivas Thakur. Also said, Srivas, don't be fearful. What do you think? Can this Muslim king and Qazis, they can attack devotees here? I am sitting in everyone's heart. Unless I inspire them, they won't be able to do it. Don't be fearful. I will, in fact, several things Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. I will challenge their Qazis. I can make birds, bees, and others chant the holy name. Can their Qazis, mullahs, make others chant the holy name? They won't be able to. So don't worry, Srivas. That time, in order to assure Srivas Thakur of the potency of the Lord and the devotional practice, there was small Narayani who was hardly 4 years old. So Lord gave order to Narayani. Krishna boli kand. Agya kaila Narayani, Krishna boli kand. He ordered, Narayani, chant the holy name of the Lord and cry in ecstasy. So immediately Narayani, she started chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And she was crying profuse tears. The tears made the ground wait. She was rolling on the ground. She was in full ecstasy. All Ashtasattvic Vikar were present in her. Then afterwards she calmed down. So then Srivas Thakur completely got assurance. Yes, Lord will protect. Similarly, during Mahaprakash Leela also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was fed lot of things. So he ate some food stuff and he offered the remnants to Narayani, who was again small girl. Then he said, after eating that, Khaile Prabhura Agya Haya Narayani Krishnera Paramanande Kanda Dekhi Shuni. After she ate that, then Mahaprabhu ordered her, Narayani, Krishnera Paramanande Kanda Dekhi Shuni. I want to see you and hear you cry while chanting the holy name of the Lord. Then immediately Narayani chanted, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Again profuse tears, body was trembling, hair standing on end, she was rolling on the ground. All 8 symptoms of devotional ecstasy were manifest in her. So all the devotees were completely convinced that Mahaprabhu is so powerful and we are fully protected. So there Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur only is writing within Chaitanya Bhagavat about his mother. How empowered, blessed was his own mother, Narayani. When she was only 4 years old girl. There he says, Adyapiha Vaishnava Mandaleye Dhvani Gaurangera Avashesha Patra Narayani. Even today within the Vaishnava circle, this is what is heard. Gaurangera Avashesha Patra Narayani. She received the remnants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Narayani, his own mother. Eventually, as Narayani grew up, in those years, marriages would happen early. She was married to one person in Kumarhatta. His name doesn't come so clearly many places, but as far as slightly I remember, his name was Vaikuntha. So she was staying with her husband. Eventually, she became pregnant. But during pregnancy, her husband died. So that was then what to do. So then she was taken care by Srila Vasudev Datta in Modrum Dvip. So she accepted shelter of Sri Vasudev Datta in his house in Mamgachi, Modrum Dvip. And that's where Vrindavan Das Thakur was born. Even now that place is there, his birthplace. Just as we cross the Ganges and go to Modrum Dvip and walk a bit, then that house is there. And Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur studied under Vasudev Datta. In preface to Chaitanya Bhagavat, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes, Narayani Devi raised her child in the home of the father of Sri Malini Devi. where she had accepted shelter. So it seems for some time she was also raised in the house of the father of Malini Devi. Malini Devi is the wife of Srivas Thakur. Srivas Thakur also had a house in Kumarhatta. So that's where his wife, Sri Malini Devi's father was also residing. So that's where Narayani Devi took shelter. He was born in 1514, 4 years later to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's taking sannyas. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already left. He had made Sri Jagannath Puri as his residence. Though for first 2 years he went for South Indian tour, and then for remaining 4 years also, sometimes to Navadvip, sometimes to Vrindavan, like that. But he was away from Navadvip, and here as Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, as he was growing, he had a strong desire that I want to be initiated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But then Mahaprabhu was not there, and he was a small child. He kept growing. So then when he was around 20 years old, in 1534 or so, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this world, completed his pastime, went to Golok Vrindavan. So Vrindavan Das Thakur was into tears. Oh, I could not even see my Lord, forget about taking initiation. But then eventually when Sri Nityananda Prabhu came there, Nityananda Prabhu gave him Diksha. He was initiated by Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And it is said that he is the last disciple of Nityananda Prabhu. As far as Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami goes, he was instructed in a dream by Sri Nityananda Prabhu to go to Vrindavan when he was in his own village, Dhamatpur. That pastime is described in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. How he was, that is this chapter only, 8th chapter. What particular things happened, and then he was not happy that his brother's appointed priest did not take care of Minaketan Ramdas, who was a great associate of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, because his brother as well as Gunaranav Mishra, he was not having faith in Nityananda Prabhu. That's why he did not respect the servant of Nityananda Prabhu, Minaketan Ramdas. So then Minaketan Ramdas was very angry. He broke his stick and went away from there. Then Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami came to know of all these things, and he chastised his brother. What is this? Now, how can you not respect Nityananda Prabhu, who is none other than Balram? That night only, that very day, his brother fell down, and night when he was sleeping in Dhamatpur, Nityananda Prabhu appeared in a very beautiful form, bluish dhoti, and he was in a cowherd boy form. He was having turban and a covered stick in his hand, and his Gopa friends, they were waving chamar and vajan for him. And that time Nityananda Prabhu guided him that Krishnadas, please go to Vrindavan, and all that you need to do there will be revealed over there. So please proceed. So then immediately Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was around 90 plus years old. But in that old age, just by the order of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, he left. And then when he went there, further things happened. So then Nityananda Prabhu guided Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. Vrindavan Das Thakur also accompanied eventually Janava Mata when she was going especially to Kheturi Gram, being invited by Srila Narottam Das Thakur for the first Gaura Purnima festival. Because Mahaprabhu left in 1534, and all the remaining devotees, one by one, they were also leaving. Swarup Damodar left within 2 years, and one by one devotees were leaving. Those who were on planet Earth, they were completely into tears. They were not able to understand. Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam, Govinda Virahena me. Similarly, Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam, Gauranga Virahena me. How can we live without Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu? So then some years passed by, Narottam Das Thakur thought it wise, let us get all the devotees together, because they are crying tears in separation. Let us have them together and have Sankirtan, which was their life and soul with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Sankirtan will relieve them, all hundreds and thousands of devotees. So he arranged first Gaur Purnima festival in Kheturi Gram, and he invited all the devotees, especially the topmost, senior-most Janva Mata. So Janva Mata, when she was coming from Kardaha, her residence, going to Kheturi Gram, currently on the other side of the Ganges in Bangladesh. So she also came to Modrumdip, and she took Vrindavan Das Thakur. He also joined. Many others were there. They all went there. Vrindavan Das Thakur was very happy. And then as per the guidance of Nityananda Prabhu, during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, nobody was allowed to say that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. Because he is Channa avatar, he did not want anybody in later phase of life saying that I am Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just like many imitators are there who say I am Krishna, I am Ram. So like that some will say I am Chaitanya if he is revealed as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why he did not reveal himself as the Supreme Lord except in some private circles like Mahaprakash Leela, only confidential devotees, like that sometimes, but not in public. And nobody was allowed to address him as Krishna. Very few, like Narhari Sarkar, who was his very close associate, he would address Mahaprabhu as Krishna. Narahari Adi Kori Chamara Dhulaya. So he's very close and little senior to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He would sometimes say. But otherwise, nobody was allowed to address him as Krishna. Nobody was allowed then to write anything about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But only after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this world, it was Nityanand Prabhu, Guru. Guru tells us about Krishna. So not directly, he guided us about Krishna, who is none other than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, through two great personalities. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur to write Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, and Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami to write Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then also Lochan Das Thakur wrote eventually Sri Chaitanya Mangal. So in first chapter, this 8th chapter of Adi Leela, we will see the series of verses in which Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is glorifying Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur as well as his literature, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, how it should be read by all. This will be never seen in the outside books. No author will ever glorify any other author and any other book, because he wants his book to be sold more and all other authors to be criticized by everybody else. In fact, he can criticize in his book some other authors, but will not glorify. But because Vaishnava society means society free from envy. Devotees are never envious of each other. They are very happy if other devotee makes more progress, other devotee gets more blessings and more blessings and benedictions by other devotees. And then we wish to humbly serve such a devotee because he has got so much blessing of great souls and Supreme Lord. So by serving him, I will also receive the mercy of the Lord. This kind of innocent, simple, non-envious heart the devotees have. As we grow in bhakti, this is what should happen. We should become non-envious. Paramo nirmatsaranam satam. Bhagavatam is understood by those who are free from envy. So we have to come to that platform. So let us hear the glorification of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami by Srila Guru Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, as well as Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Please repeat after me, 33rd verse, one verse before that. Ore Mudha Loka Shuna Chaitanya Mangala Chaitanya Mahima Yate Jani Be Sakala. O fools, just read Sri Chaitanya Mangal. By reading this book, you can understand all the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It so happened that earlier Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, after writing all the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave the name as Sri Chaitanya Mangal to his book. And it was going on for some time. After some time, then Srila Lochan Das Thakur, then he wrote another many pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That there is one book, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Mahakavya. It's Murari Gupta and I think Damodar Pandit, their discussion, and that is there in Sanskrit. And those pastimes were heard by Srila Lochan Das Thakur, and the same pastimes, almost the same, with some more things, he has written in Bangla, in particular Bangla language. So that is called as Sri Chaitanya Mangal. He also named his book as Sri Chaitanya Mangal. Now both are describing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime. All the Vaishnavas will refer to this book, that book. Then a lot of confusion will be there. Somebody would say, Prabhu, please give me Chaitanya Mangal. Who's Chaitanya Mangal? Vrindavan Das Thakur or Lochan Das Thakur? So to avoid that confusion, then it was thought, sometimes it is said by Vaishnavas, that Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is none other than Vedvyas. So Vedvyas wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. So let us name his creation, this Chaitanya Mangal, as Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Another place it is said that his mother only, Narayani, instructed him that you need to change the name of your book. Then he changed it to Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. But then originally the name was Chaitanya Mangal. That's why every time here Chaitanya Mangal word comes, it is referring to Chaitanya Bhagavat only. That will be very clear. As Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami glorifies Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, and there is no mention of Sri Lochan Das Thakur ever here. So this was the book existing there, and he's glorifying. Just read Sri Chaitanya Mangal, that means Chaitanya Bhagavat. By reading this book, you can understand all the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is very important. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So many pastimes are there. Around, there are around, how many chapters? There are 17 chapters in Adi Khanda. Then this Adi Khanda 8 said Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going to Gaya, getting initiated by Shripadishwar Puri and coming back to Navadvip. So there is difference between Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Mangal as far as there in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, Madhya Lila, Antya Lila. That Adi Lila is up to Sannyas, and Sannyas to next 6 years Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wandered all over India. So that forms Madhya Lila of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And after he came and fully he was there for 18 continuous years in Chaitanya, in Jagannath Puri, that makes it Antya Lila of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. But as far as Chaitanya Bhagavat is concerned, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going to Gaya, getting initiated, coming back to Navadvip. There are 17 chapters. This is all called as Adi Khanda. There it is Lila, here it is Khanda, Adi Khanda. So then after that, he came, started Sankirtan movement and went on till his sannyas, that is Madhya Khanda. It has 28 chapters. Very elaborately, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur describes 3 chapters on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's sannyas. Very powerful, very heart-touching. What all? Very detailed description. Similarly, around 3-4 chapters are there about Jagai Madai deliverance. Very wonderful description. What happened before, after, very amazing. And then Antya Khanda, only 10 chapters. Also, he felt that it became too voluminous. So then he restricted it. That will come in this series of verses. So thus, how many? 20, 38, 48, 48 and 7. Around 55 chapters and around 12,416 verses, as I remember a little bit, are there totally in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. 12,000 verses. And they are in Bangla, simple. One can easily read it in Bangla only or English, Hindi, any other language. But this is very important. This should be read ideally 108 times by all the Gaudiya devotees to fall in love with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is our hero. Krishna is hero, no doubt. But more merciful than Krishna is Krishna only in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. With the mood and complexion of Srimati Radharani is much more merciful. And Mahaprabhu's pastimes are very, very nectarian. Gaurangera madhur lila jare karne praveshila Rudhaya nirmala bhelotar Rudhaya nirmala bhelotar. The sweet pastimes of Gaurang Mahaprabhu, if they enter in anyone's ears, then his heart will be purified, will become completely spotless, purified, pure heart. So that's why he's recommending. Next we already read Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kahe Vedavyas, Chaitanya Lila Ravyas Vrindavan Das. Lord Vedavyas described Krishna's pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam. So similarly Vrindavan Das Thakur, who is none other than Vedavyas only, elaborated the pastimes of Lord Krishna in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Next, 35th. Please repeat. Vrindavan Dasa Kaila Chaitanya Mangala Yahara Shravane Nashe Sarva Amangala. Vrindavan Das Thakur wrote Sri Chaitanya Mangal. Just by hearing that, all the inauspiciousness will be destroyed. Misfortune will go away. 36. Chaitanya Nitaira Yate Janiye Mahima Yate Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhantera Sima. By reading Sri Chaitanya Mangal, one can understand all the glories and truths of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda and come to the ultimate conclusion of devotional service to Lord Krishna. So very nice glorification. Understand all the glories and truths about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as well as Nitya Prabhu. So many pastimes of Nitya Prabhu. When I had counted around 35 pastimes of Nitya Prabhu, wonderfully described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur in Chaitanya Bhagavat. They are not so much there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. In Chaitanya Charitamrita we find little bit is there. Like this Jagai Madai Uddhar and to some extent Shivanand Sen. Nityanand Prabhu's reference comes, but very wonderfully, very elaborately is described in Chaitanya Bhagavat by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. And also one will understand the ultimate conclusion of devotional service to Lord Krishna. One point I had touched upon, did not complete, that Srila Prabhupada, he knew that Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur has already given commentary on Chaitanya Bhagavat in the form of Gaudiya Bhashya. That was one reason, so no need. And Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita has lot of philosophy, which is not so much there in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Chaitanya Mahabhagavat is pure nectarian, pastimes after pastimes after pastime. Very, very nectarian. There is philosophy, but it is not that much there. So that's why Prabhupada also wanted to give philosophy to all his followers. So he thought of giving commentary on Chaitanya Charitamrita, which we all know, how it was published in just the period of 2 months. Devotees worked hard like anything. His Holiness Devamrut Maharaj says, every day I was reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita 11 hours every day, with the sole purpose of seeing faults, because he was one of the editors. So editor has to see fault, means spelling mistake, grammar mistake and all that. So every day 11 hours he was reading. And many devotees worked hard, and Chaitanya Charitamrita was published in period of 2 months. Next he says, 37, Bhagavate yata Bhakti Siddhante Rasara Likhiya Chen Iha Jani Kariya Uddhara. In Sri Chaitanya Mangal, later known as Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has given the conclusion and essence of devotional service by quoting the authoritative statements of Srimad Bhagavatam. So he is glorifying more. Chaitanya Mangala Shune Yadi Pashandi Yavana Seha Maha Vaishnava Hayata Takshana. If even a great atheist hears Sri Chaitanya Mangal, he immediately becomes a great devotee. Hari Bol. So in our preaching, we can use this tool of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Catch some atheist and tell, sir, just give whatever, 10-15 days or at least 5-6 hours today, and keep reading Chaitanya Bhagavat for him. So he will become Maha Vaishnava, not just ordinary Vaishnava. He will become a great devotee. This is Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, one of the Manjaris. He is telling. So it will not be false. It will be true. Any atheist you can make into great devotee just by making him hear Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Manushya rachite nare Aiche grantha dhanya Vrindavana dasamokhe Vakta Sri Chaitanya. So this is classic description. I think the subject matter of this book is so sublime that it appears that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has personally spoken through the writings of Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. So to say, Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur is the writer, but the speaker, Vakta, the speaker is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Srila Prabhupada also, exactly like Vrindavan Das Thakur, he said, I have not written these books. Krishna has written book. And when reporter was confused, then one of the senior disciples said, no, that means, Krishna dictated from the heart or something like that. Prabhupada said, I did not say that. I said Krishna wrote these books. And then the disciple was also shocked like that. So there are so many proofs of that also, that how one of the South Indian Sri Vaishnava Acharya, when he came to Tirupati ISKCON temple at the bookstall, inquired about Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. They said it's over. After a month it will come. He was going, they called him, sir, you are from Sri Chaitanya, from Sri Sampradaya. Ramanujacharya is such a great personality, Lakshman himself, and he has given so many books. Why do you want our Gaudiya Sampradaya books? That to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is not known to many Vaishnavas, by our Swami Prabhupada. He said, my Ranganath, whom I served throughout life. Now I'm old, I'm kind of retired, young devotee, sir, but I served throughout my life Lord Ranganath. Lord Ranganath came in my dream and said, this book, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, written by Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, this is personally written by me, and I wish that you read this book. Now it's like old man about to die. So he had to read that book. Lord Ranganath has written that book. Ranganath told the Sri Sampradaya Vaishnava Acharya. So we can see, Prabhupada said these books are written by Krishna, and that's why so many people get impressed. Certainly Prabhupada is the one who is inspired, who is the one chosen by Krishna. So Manushya Rachite Nare Aiche Grantha. This is such a glorious literature. A human being just cannot write this. Vrindavana Dasam, okay, though Vrindavan Das Thakur is writing, but actually the speaker is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Vrindavana Dasapade Koti Namaskara Aiche Grantha Kari Teho Tarila Samsara. I offer millions of obeisances unto the lotus feet of Vrindavan Das Thakur. No one else could write such a wonderful book for the deliverance of all fallen souls. No one else can write. He is kind of glorifying so much. So that is the glorification. Then next 41st. Narayani Chaitanyera Uchishta Bhajana Taragarbhe Janmila Shri Dasa Vrindavana. So giving some history background of Vrindavan Das Thakur, Chaitanya, this Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami is telling that how she got the remnants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and from her womb only was born Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur in this purport is telling, Ambikayaha swasayasin namna Srila Kilimbika Krishnochistam Prabhunjana Seyam Narayani Mata. That Krishna had a nurse, Yashoda Mai had assistants who were nursing Krishna. So her name was Ambika and her younger sister was Kilimbika. That younger sister of Ambika, who is also one of the nurses then, she appeared in Chaitanya Lila as Narayani Devi, who became the mother of Vrindavan Das Thakur. This is stated in Gaur Ganodesha Deepika by Srila Kavi Karnapur, who is one of the three sons of Shivananda Sen. And he wrote Shri Gaur Ganodesha Deepika, who are the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Krishna Lila. Gana Uddesh, who they were. So she was Kilimbika, the nurse or younger sister of the nurse Ambika, who appeared as Narayani. Vrindavan Das Thakur is more famous, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur writes, by the name of his mother. Generally in India, in Maharashtra, the son or daughter, they will write their name, father's name and then surname. This is compulsory in Maharashtra. That is how they write. So one is known by his father's name. Not so much by mother's name. But Vrindavan Das Thakur's unique case is that he is known by Narayani, his mother, that he is the son of Narayani. As earlier also we said, Adhyapiha Vaishnava Mandale Yai Dhvani Gaurangera Avashesha Patra Narayani. So he is more known by Narayani, not by his father. And Bhaktivedanta Thakur says there is no need to understand it about his father and all that. Mother is so glorious. Then ahead he says in 42nd, Taraki Adbhuta Chaitanya Charita Varnana Yahara Shravane Shuddha Kaila Tribhuvana. What a wonderful description he has given of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Anyone in the three worlds who hears it is purified. So we want to get purified, we should read Chaitanya Bhagavat. Then ahead, 44th, he says, Vrindavana Dasa Kaila Chaitanya Mangala Tahate Chaitanya Lila Varnila Sakala. Vrindavan Das Thakur wrote this Chaitanya Bhagavat, and in that he has described the pastimes of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sutrakari Sabalila Karila Granthana Pache Vistariya Tahara Kaila Vivarana. So in the beginning, he first summarized all the pastimes of the Lord and later described them vividly in detail. So first chapter only, he describes Adi Khanda, Madhya Khanda, Antya Khanda pastime. One pastime in one shloka, or two pastimes in one shloka only. First line, one pastime, second line, second pastime. This is synopsis in short. And then eventually he described it. And then we find Chaitanya Charitamrita also written in similar lines. Chaitanya Chandrera Lila Ananta Apara Varnite Grantha Haila Vistara. The pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are unlimited and unfathomable. Therefore, in describing all those pastimes, the book became voluminous. Especially Balya Lila, the childhood pastimes of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Balya Lila, Pauganda Lila, they are very vividly described in Chaitanya Bhagavat, not in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The book became voluminous. Vistara dekhiya kichu, sankocha haila mana, sutra dhruta kona lila, nakaila varnana. He saw them to be so extensive that he later felt that some had not been properly described. The later past times he was wondering what to do. Nityananda lila, varnane haila avesha, chaitanya rashesha lila, rahila avashesha. He ecstatically described the pastimes of Lord Nityananda, but the later pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained untold. Because he was empowered by Sri Nityananda Prabhu, he glorifies Nityananda Prabhu like anything. Like in one place he says, Ishtadeva Vandamora Nityananda Rai Chaitanya Kirti Spure Yahara Krupai. My Ishtadev, my glorious Lord is Nityananda Prabhu, and I worship his lotus feet. Chaitanya Kirti Spure Yahara Krupai. One can speak about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Chaitanya Lila manifests on the tongue, in the heart, and eventually on the tongue of such a person who is blessed by Nityananda Prabhu. And then he says also, many places he glorifies Sri Nityananda Prabhu. So because of that, this book became, and then he was wondering what to do. Chaitanya Lila remained only. So that was the opportunity then given to Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Ahead he says in the 49, Sei Sabalilara Shunite Vivarana Vrindavana Vasi Bhakter Utkantita Mana. The devotees of Vrindavan were all very anxious to hear those pastimes. They were hearing. Why? That will come ahead. So they were hearing so many pastimes, but then they were not getting to hear the later pastime because they were not described only. Vrindavane Kalpadrume. Oh, no, not that verse. So he describes, I'll just cut it short now. Ahead, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami described that the head priest of Radha Govinda Dev temple, his name was Haridas Pandit. Haridas Pandit was one of the disciples of Srila Ananta Acharya. Ananta Acharya was disciple of Gadadhar Pandit. So Gadadhar Pandit's disciple, one disciple, Ananta Acharya. Ananta Acharya's disciple, Haridas Pandit, who was then the priest of Sri Radha Govinda Dev temple in Vrindavan. This is little later, when Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami are no more there. So they, in the 63rd verse, maybe you can see the 63rd verse. Nirantara shunete ho Chaitanya Mangala Tahara Prasade Shunen Vaishnava Sakala. This head priest of Radha Govinda Dev temple, Sri Haridas Pandit, was fond of Chaitanya Lila by reading Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Bhagavat. And because of him, he would read loudly also for other devotees. Other devotees also got to hear them. So they were very inspired. They were all illuminated. He was the one ultimately who requested Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami that you have heard all this pastime directly from the lotus mouth of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami on the bank of Radhakund every day for 2-3 hours. Because Raghunath Das Goswami had close association for around 16 years in Jagannath Puri of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his Shiksha Guru was Swarup Damodar Goswami. But after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, Swarup Damodar Goswami left, Raghunath Das Goswami quite was broken hearted. He came to Vrindavan, but no solace. He decided to jump from Govardhan hill and commit suicide. But Vaishnav cannot do anything without the blessings of other seniors. He went to Rup Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, said, bless me. They said, for what? For committing suicide. Hey, how can you commit suicide? Yeah, I cannot bear the separation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar Goswami. He said, no. See, you were fortunate enough to hear all the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. They are eyewitness and also hear from Murari Gupta, from Swarup Damodar Goswami and others. So you please narrate to us. You will forget your pangs of separation and we will also be solaced because being in Vrindavan, we hardly got to hear anything about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Something here and there, not clearly, not properly. So please. And he was speaking every day on the bank of Radhakund in the afternoon. And one of the persons in the audience was Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who made nice notes, and those notes only are Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit, which we are getting so much blessed by. So there, Then he was ordered, and then Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So some of the verses of Chaitanya Bhagavat, first Adi Khand, first chapter, in that first verse, Ajanulambita bhujau kanakabadato sankirtanaika pitaro kamalaya Vishwambharo dvijavaro yugadharma palo vande jagat priyakaro karunavataro. Same verse is repeated in Madhya Khanda, first chapter, first verse itself. So this is introductory verse, very powerful. Ajanul, description of Gaurang Mahaprabhu and Nityanprabhu. Their hands are long enough to touch the knees when we are standing, not while sitting. Ajanu lambita bhujo kanakava dato, and their complexions are white or golden. Sankirtanaka pitro. There is one child whose name is Sankirtan, but very surprisingly he has two fathers. No person will have two fathers, but this child called Sankirtan has two fathers. One is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, other is Nityanprabhu. Sankirtanaka pitro kamalaya taksho. His eyes are like lotus petals. Vishwambharo, he nourishes the entire world. Another meaning, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself says, unless I fill the entire world with Harinam, my name Vishwambhar won't be reaching perfection. Vishwambhar, Vishwa ko bharne wale, kisse bharenge? Harinam se. So unless I fill the entire world with holy name, my name Vishwambhar will not reach perfection. So when we are chanting the holy name, we can remember this. We are assisting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to fill the whole world with Harinam, as is his name, Vishwambhar suggests. So Vishwambharo, both are called as Vishwambhara. Vishwambharo, Dvijavaro, they are the best of the Brahmins. Yuga Dharma Palo, they also protect, maintain the Yuga Dharma, chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Anybody who is chanting the holy name of the Lord will be maintained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanprabhu. Whenever you are chanting the holy name, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there with you and Nityanprabhu is also there with you. Both of them are there simultaneously because they are Yuga Dharma Palo. Vande Jagat Priyakaro, they are very dear to all the people in the world. Karunavataro, they are the most munificent incarnations, very, very merciful. Then second verse, both the places, Adikhand, Madhyakhanda, he says, Namastrikala Satyaya, Jagannath Sutaya cha, Swabhrutyaya, Swaputraya, Sakalatraya te namaha. Lord is the Lord in all three tenses, in past tense, present tense and future tense. Namastrikala Satyaya, Jagannath Sutaya cha. This is referring only to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur writes, Jagannath Sut, the son of Jagannath Mishra, Swabhrutyaya, Lord has appeared along with his servants, devotee servants, Swaputraya, Saputraya, along with his Goswamis, and 9 processes of devotional service are also called servants of the Lord, and Sakalatraya, along with his consorts. Who are the consorts? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, Vishnu Priya, who is the Bhu Shakti of the Lord, Lakshmi Priya, Shri Shakti of the Lord, Navadvip, which is Neela, Leela and Durga, Shaktis of the Lord, and then Gadadhar Pandit, who is none other than Srimati Radharani, then Narhari Sarkar, Ramanand Rai, who is Vishaka Saki, then Jagdanand Pandit, and others like Vakarishwar Pandit and many others. These are all having gopi forms in Krishna Lila. So they all are Kalatra. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaurang Mahaprabhu has appeared with his devotee servants, with his sons, Goswamis, etc., and with his consorts. Then in the first chapter of Adi Khanda, he describes the tattva of Balram tattva very elaborately. That's how so many other things have come, which are naturally the liking of his heart. So that's why Chaitanya Lila descriptions remained. Ataiva age bala ramastavana karile se mokhe spure Chaitanya kirtana. So he says, now I will glorify the glories of Balram. And he glorifies from the 15th verse to 87th verse. These are all glories of Balram. Very wonderfully described. So some other verses, Mahaprabhu, when he was small boy, his Hathe Kadi Samskar, Vidya Ramba. So there were 2 teachers, Vishnu and Sudarshan. They both were called when he was small boy. And they are teaching now, small Nimai. Okay, Nimai, write Ka, like this Ka on the slate. So the teacher wrote and then he is writing, and then say Ka. So he says Ka. So, okay, now this is Ka. Say Nimai Ka, Ka. Okay, Nimai, this is Ga. Say Ga, Ga. This is Gha. Say Nimai Gha, Gha. So about this, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur says, Ki madhuri kari Prabhu kakha gagha bole, taha shunite matra sarva jiva bhole. This is so sweet. Now I said that, but actually when Nimai was saying that, all the relatives, Jagannath Mishra, Sachimata and all the neighbors, relatives, when they heard Nimai saying, Ko, it was so sweet. He's saying, Ki madhuri kari Prabhu kakha gagha bole. With what sweetness is this Nimai, my Lord, is saying this ka, kha, ga, gha, taha shunite matra. Just by hearing it, sarva jiva bole. The whole world forgot, all the people forgot the whole world. That is the beauty, sweetness of Mahaprabhu. He also glorifies bhakti. Bhakti yoga, bhakti yoga, bhakti yoga dhan, bhakti yai Krishna nama smarana krandan. 3 times, triple repetition. Bhakti yoga, bhakti yoga, bhakti yoga dhan. This is the only wealth. All other wealth here today, gone tomorrow. Even before our death also, it may leave us. And that is not going to come with us to the next life and all that. So bhakti yoga only is the dhan. What is bhakti? Bhakti is crying while remembering Krishna's name. Bhakti yai Krishna nama smarana krandan. Chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And one should remember Krishna naturally. When heart is pure, one remembers Krishna. Otherwise, difficult. Malina haile man, nahi Krishna rasmaran. Mind is contaminated with passion, ignorance, or even goodness. One cannot remember the Lord. So, Bhakti Krishna Nama Smarana Krandan, and ultimately crying for Krishna. As Srila Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj would say, and Prabhupada also said. This is a small technique of crying for Krishna, and devotee should learn it. So then he says, Amara Prabhura Prabhu Gauranga Sundara Yei se Bharasami Dharye Anthara. He describes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Prabhura Prabhu. Amara Prabhura Prabhu. My master's master is Gauranga Sundar. Yei se Bharasami Dharye Anthara. And within my heart, I have firm conviction that the master of my master is Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking sannyas, and somehow Sachimata got to know that my son Nimai is going to take sannyas. So she started crying, Are Nimai, I am living for you only. How can you live? What is the need? All your friends, with them you are going in different 9 islands of Navadvip and having Harinam Sankirtan, which is the ultimate goal. Who has told sannyas is important? Grahastha also can perfect his life. Stay at home. So that time in consoling mother, so Mahaprabhu tells Mother Sachi that mother, don't think that our relationship is temporary. When I came as Lord Ram, you are my mother Kausalya. When I came as Krishna, you are my mother Devaki. When I came as Kapila Dev, you are my mother Devoti. When I came as Lord Vaman Dev, you are my mother Aditi. When in Kali Yuga, I will, for Sankirtan moment, I will appear in 2 forms. Mora Archa Murti Mata, Tumi Se Dharani, Jiva Rupa Tumi Mata, Namera Janani. In Kali Yuga, in Sankirtan Andolan, Sankirtan moment, I will take 2 forms. Mora Archa Murti Mata, the divine forms of the lordships, worshipable deities. Mora Archa Murti Mata, when I come in the form of deities, Tumi se dharani, you are my mother in the form of soil. Because from soil only come marble, stone, wood, etc., from which the deities are made. So that's why Mora Archa Murti Mata, Tumi se dharani, Jiva Rupa Tumi Mata Namera Janani. When one chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jiva is the mother of Harinam. Because mother gives birth to child. And what produces holy name in our body? Tongue. Jiva Rupa Tumi Mata Namera Janani. You are only my mother in the form of tongue, oh my dear mother Sachi. Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling. And he says, Bhagavata Tulasi Gangaya Bhakta Jane Chaturdha Vigraha Krishna Yei Chare Sane. In Krishna manifests himself in 4 forms. One is Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna Swadhama Upagate Dharma Dhyana Divisaha Kalo Nashta Drushamesha Puranarako Adhunagita. As Bhagavatam only Shukdev Goswami is telling us. So Krishna, now Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. So one manifestation is Bhagavat. Second is Tulsi. Tulsi, Krishna in the plant form is Tulsi. Then Ganga, Krishna in water form is Ganga. And Bhaktajan, Vaishnavas, they are also manifestations of Krishna. Chaturdha, these 4 types, Vigraha, these forms. Krishna Yai Chare Sane. In these four forms, Krishna makes manifestation for all of us. So we should highly respect Bhagavad, Tulsi, Ganga, and other Vaishnavas, because Krishna only is around us in their form. So thus we should pray to Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur, today being his appearance. Acharyas are always merciful. Any time we remember them, we hear, only chant their name, Vrindavan Das Thakur. This is enough, and you have direct connection with Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. What to speak if we read their literature, hear their teachings. So they are always merciful, but on the appearance day it is said, and disappearance day, they are all the more merciful. So today being the appearance day of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, we pray at his lotus feet that he wrote 12,000 plus verses in glorification of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. Let me at least read all these verses once through in my life with understanding what glorious how glorious are Gaurang Mahaprabhu, Nityan Prabhu, and all the associates who are very nicely described in Chaitanya Bhagavat. One will fall in love with Gauranga and Nityananda and all the associates just by reading Chaitanya Bhagavat. It is so sweet, so sweet. It just cannot be described in words. So that is empowerment given to Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, who wrote it so wonderfully. So we pray at his lotus feet that may we read Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat at least once in our life, and 108 times if possible, removing 0 at least 18 times, if not at least 1 and 0 10 times, if not 0 and 8 8 times, if not removing 0 and 8 at least 1 time. If we could read Chaitanya Bhagavat, life will become perfect. Thank you all very much. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki, Itai Gaur Premanandi. Maybe I will request His Holiness Radharaman Swami Maharaj. Maharaj, if you could comment something or add. Can give just 1 or 2 minutes.
9 बजे क्लास खत्म होता है ना.
Sorry महाराज. अगर आप कुछ कहना चाहते हैं तो.
वहाँ पर नवद्वीप में, मायापुर में आपने मेंशन किया अवस्था मोदद्रुम द्वीप. मोदद्रुम पूरा द्वीप का इतना नाम मोदद्रुम द्वीप. वहाँ पर एक बहुत बड़ा बट वृक्ष था, अभी विजिबल नहीं है, अप्रकट हो गया है. और उसी बट वृक्ष के नीचे ही वृंदावन दास ठाकुर जी का जन्म स्थान है. श्रीपाठ कहते हैं, वृंदावन दास श्रीपाठ. और उस बट वृक्ष के नाम से ही कथा इस प्रकार के भगवान राम, सीता जी, लक्ष्मण कभी वनवास के समय वहाँ गए थे और उस बट वृक्ष के नीचे निवास किए थे. तो बट वृक्ष के निवास करते समय भगवान को, राम जी को, लक्ष्मण, सीता जी इतना आनंद हुआ, इतना प्रसन्नता हुई कि उस बट वृक्ष का नाम मोदद्रुम बट वृक्ष हुआ. और उसी के नाम से उसे ठीक उसी बट वृक्ष के नीचे वृंदावन दास ठाकुर जी का जन्म हुआ था. अभी भी आप लोग कभी जाते हैं, मामगाछी गांव का नाम है मामगाछी. मामगाछी में मोदद्रुम द्वीप, और मोदद्रुम द्वीप में बट वृक्ष है. और बट वृक्ष के ठीक नीचे वृंदावन दास ठाकुर जी का जन्म स्थान है. उसे वृंदावन दास श्रीपाठ के नाम से प्रसिद्ध है. कभी आप परिक्रमा करते हैं तो वहाँ जाओ, बहुत सी पास टाइम है वहाँ पर. 9 बजे हमें समझ, मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग की कथा अपना खत्म होता है.
ओके. श्री वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय.